Hi, my name is Ian, and I play Phineas on Wizards of Webcams. Wizards of Webcams is a show that we used to run back on Mod 20 Gaming a few years back over on Twitch, and it kind of went dormant for a little bit because that's what happens with TTRPG groups. Sometimes life just gets in the way, you know what I mean? So I have since brought it back here on my channel. We have a new cast, we have a new DM, and I just want to get you caught up so that everybody's on the same page for this week's game. All right? So we are 5 episodes in, and a lot has happened in those 5 episodes. First off, the cast that we have, it's myself. I am playing the Phineas Dorselman, a Water Genasi bard who just took their first level into Warlock, made an interesting deal with a fiend. Then we have Alessandra, played by the one and only Malfoy. Um, yeah, Alessandra is a fallen Azamar divine blood sorcerer. So that's always a good time. They have a tie directly to um, a deity, as with, divine soul, divine blood. Either way, you know what I'm talking about. So they have some interesting stuff going on there. And then we have stealth hybrid, acrobatic, nocturnal killbot, aka Shank, and that is played by the lovely Jeremy. He is rad. And TJ versus zombies, our very own Taliesin is our current dungeon master, and he's doing a fantastic job weaving this story through. So the whole premise, it is a nautical based campaign. We are currently on a boat. The boat was at one point a pirate ship that was captured, and instead of the whole crew being, arrested and put to death, instead they were conscripted into the Navy, given the task. You earn your freedom when you bring in 100 pirate flags. So off we went, off to sea. The captain is absolutely rad. We love the captain. We met the specialists aboard the ship, and I have taken quite the liking to the ship's cook, a grandmotherly, older tabaxi woman, and she's just the sweetest thing, and we love her. Babush Cat is number one NPC in my heart. We sailed around, we sank a ship, we fought a leviathan or some sort of sea monster, multiple of them. That was interesting. That was a good time. Um, Later, we ended up meeting a a giant that just kind of came up out of the ocean and gave us this really cryptic warning about what could potentially be the end of the world. So we have to actually do a little bit more reading into that. Then we found ourselves on an island that was infested with zombies. So we go to investigate, and we find down there in the depths of the stronghold that was on this island, a necromancer who had created themselves a flesh golem. Phineas, thinking it was being funny, decided that they were going to hold on to the stairs when they slipped out from under them because a trap had been activated that just kind of turned the stairs into a slide. Thought it was going to be funny to try to take everybody out on the way down. That lost us the element of surprise. We rolled initiative. The fight was going okay. It was a difficult fight, and then suddenly the necromancer hits us with Cone of Cold, deals way too much damage, and we TPK right then and there. Um, However, that's not the end of the story. Through the near death experience, Alessandra, the sorcerer, actually meets the deity in his bloodline and is granted a mark of said deity that slowly but surely kind of like heated up his hand, made it really uncomfortable. Eventually the skin ended up coming off of his hand to reveal that Alessandra has one uh like armored gauntlet hand now. That's just his hand with the mark of the god on the back of his hand. And we've recently learned that the more violence Alessandra gets involved in, the more skin is kind of just sloughed away, and more pieces of armor are revealed under the skin on that arm. This is actually where Finn makes the deal to get first level in Warlock. Um, Two different entities arrived and made sales pitches pretty much. One was uh, a spokesperson for a fiend in the Nine Hells, and the other was a fae of some sort. The fae offered me a better instrument. Phineas plays a hurdy-gurdy because I think it's fun to say, and it's a fun instrument. So the fae offered a very beautiful hurdy-gurdy that created like minor illusions of Phineas to kind of create a full band out of just one person. Though awesome, the spokesperson for the fiend offered a a sword that could not be refused, a nice obsidian blade that was absolutely beautiful. So Phineas went with the fiend and got new clothes out of it and a cool new eye, and there's some branding that goes into it. Everything has the number 4 on it, the Roman numerals 4. So Phineas has actually started spelling their name, PH, the Roman numeral 4, and then you complete the N off the back side of it. I thought that was pretty clever. I enjoyed that. Kind of proud of that myself. But everybody comes to. Shank is the first one to wake up after the near-death experience and finds that he's been disassembled by the necromancer, and proceeds to kind of shimmy around to try to put himself back together, all while meeting, I can never remember the name of the race, um, but it's a sentient mushroom pretty much, and kind of forms a symbiotic relationship with the sentient mushroom, and the mushroom now lives inside the chest cavity of our dear warforged Shank. Um, Him being the first one awake, went and found the necromancer and just absolutely ended him, rendering the flesh golem inert, and we were able to escape the island. No questions asked. We were a little bit late from the rendezvous that the captain had put for us, but no harm, no foul, right? And that brings us to the next piece of big information here. We don't like the bosun. The boatswain aboard this vessel is a tool bag. He was actually installed on the boat by the governing body that is, and his whole job is to report back to the governing body to make sure that, a pirate ship stays on track and on course and nothing really goes awry. With a twist. To make sure that the bosun doesn't die, some sort of curse or spell was placed on the crew as they signed their name into the ledger, confirming that they were part of the crew, that if anything were to happen to the bosun, it would also happen to a random member of the crew. So, Shank had tried to pull a fast one and stole a very ornate kind of sacrificial dagger from the boatswain, and went to go frame somebody else to kind of get the boatswain heated. He caught on and confronted Shank. Was like, "Hey, I need my dagger," and Shank was like, "I don't have your dagger." The bosun then threatens Shank, so Shank does what Killbot does best and goes to try and kill the bosun. Stabs him real good. Got just a massive hit out of that swing with the frostbrand, nonetheless. And he took damage, but then we hear just a shriek from further up the boat where that same stab wound had opened up on the captain. And it was not my favorite thing to find out. To know that we have no way of really removing the bosun and going outlaw without really significantly damaging the rest of the crew is not the thing that you like to learn. From there, we tensions have been kind of high, as the bosun doesn't like us and we don't like the bosun, and everybody's like, look, let's just do our job. The captain said, hey, we need to make one more pit stop on the way back to port, because once we do this, we'll have enough money and we can just get gone. Like, we can have a good, nice, like, shore leave. We pull up to the kind of coordinates that the captain had a hunch on, and sure enough, we are attacked and boarded by other pirates. But these pirates turn out to be seafaring druids, and that was a very fun fight. Our ship, was completely engulfed in tangling roots, and it made it very hard, very difficult to move around. Though Phineas's quick thinking dropped silence on the grouped up druids, and that's where the fight actually turned. Though this is not to say that we didn't have actual struggle with it. Very first turn of combat, everybody got flashbanged. So everybody went blind if you didn't pass a dexterity save, and that definitely made it more difficult. But no real casualties were had on the side of the boat. We made it out pretty much unscathed, and these druids were loaded. I'm talking a fat stack of platinum. There were some jewels. One of them had a diamond uh, that was capable of revivify like 10 times over. Not to say that you could do it out of the one gem, but it was worth that much. So now we are absolutely loaded. We got a whole grip of money. So now this week, all goes according to plan. We're headed back to port to figure out where our next adventure takes us. So I would greatly appreciate it if you'd come on by, give us a listen, join in the fun, and just be a part. I don't know how many other ways I can say that. We have a thing that we say as we end every game of Wizards and Webcams over there on Twitch, and that is, if you're going to bed, get good sleep. Be the change in the world that you want to see. Do something nice for somebody just because you can tomorrow. And as always, may all of your hits be crits. I'll see you Wizards on Saturday.